And welcome back to Red Card. I'm your host, Anthony Totera, and joining us right now on the line from TFC, the young rookie sensation, Raheem Edwards. Raheem, welcome, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, pleasure's all mine. Raheem, before we get to the game Friday night and your first season with TFC, I was speaking to Mike Massaro, your PR guy, earlier last week, and I said, I want Raheem Edwards on, and he said, the dream. I said, you need to make sure that you add in the Canadian Dream. So how's that for a nickname, the Canadian Dream Edwards?
Yeah, I got the dream, but now you put the little Canadian in it. I like it.
Absolutely. And let me ask you this, Raheem, before we talk about TFC. What aspirations do you have for playing for your country, Canada? Would you love someday to be called up, maybe even soon for the Gold Cup?
Yeah, obviously it's a great honor whenever you get the call for your national team, and yeah, I would love to play for my country and represent the Maple Leaf.
Outstanding. Raheem, let's talk about the game. Sporting Kansas City, the first game on home soil versus TFC. You guys came out ready to battle. They played you physical, and the refs seemed to put the whistle away, and you looked unfazed. You looked like this was just another game. And head coach Greg Vanney, after the game in the press room, as I was there, said it. It seemed like nothing bothered you. Talk about your mindset leading up to this game.
Yeah, obviously there's going to be nervousness. Obviously it's the first game, but you got to embrace the nervousness. As I said before, I was a little bit nervous, but I embraced it. I just treated it as another game, as all the guys in the locker room told me just to treat it as the next any other game. So I went out there with the same mentality as I would go out in a USL game or a house league game when I was 6 years old. So I just stuck with that, and I played.
And that's a great way to look at it, and that's great advice for the youngsters out there as well, Raheem. Unfortunately, it was a wet, windy night, and we saw the devastating injury to Clint Irwin. It looked like that grass was really slick and wet, and you're a guy that likes to use your speed. How hard was it for you to get good gripping that night?
It wasn't too bad, but it wasn't obviously the best conditions because the conditions we're under were wet and windy and it's still cold, so it wasn't the best conditions. But huge shout out to the TFC groundsmen. They do a wonderful job with the BMO field. But yeah, it was tough conditions obviously, but I think we handled it well. Obviously, it was unfortunate that we couldn't come away with 3 points, but nonetheless, we got a clean sheet and we're still undefeated throughout the season.
Raheem, I've always said this, that the most important signing right after Jovinko is Captain Bradley. To me, this guy is the real deal. The price of admission, along with Josie Altidore, these are three important players, not only for TFC, for MLS to spotlight on your club and all over the league and on the world stage. But I also believe this, Raheem. Once Victor Vasquez gets game shape, understands the league, the travel and everything, watch out. I believe this could be a big piece to help you and your teammates for a long run back to the final. Your thoughts?
Yeah, as you said, Michael and Josie and the DPs, they're the main highlight. Michael's a leader, as you know, on and off the field. He's our leader, and Josie, when he turns on the switch, there's not that many strikers in the league that is better than him. But yeah, Victor Vasquez is obviously he's adapting to the game, and you see that he's starting to grow more and more throughout the games and whatnot. And I think he could be a devastating player as well, given the time where he starts to settle in and he gets more comfortable.
Raheem, you like to get the ball into the box. You did that well against Sporting Kansas City. You did it well against the Whitecaps. You're not a player that really likes to take that ball and take a lot of guys 1v1, but you do that as well. But you like to get that ball into the box for guys like Josie, Jovinko, and others to finish. How important is that part of your game?
It's a massive point in my game. Obviously, as being a wingback, that's where you're mostly going to be out wide. So crossing the ball and whatnot is going to be a major part of your game as a wingback.
Now let's talk about your next opponent. We know what they're all about. First year into the league, Atlanta United have really opened the eyes up of a lot of people all over MLS. They're, to me, not an expansion team, Raheem. They're a team that is ready to battle for a playoff spot. What has Coach Vanney said to you and your staff to get ready for them?
Obviously, as you said, Atlanta is a very, very good team. On the counter, they're very devastating. They have quick players that want to attack and want to go full force all the time, nonstop. So we just got to be wary of the ball and whatnot and deal with the counter situations when they do occur, if they do occur.
Now, obviously, week in and week out, the coach decides what the formation's going to be, who's starting, who's not. You as a player and as a young player, do you like to know a couple days ahead of time, or do you want to know the same day so you get yourself ready that day or maybe a couple days before? What do you prefer?
Honestly, it doesn't matter to me. As a player, I believe you should be ready for anything. If you get called last second to the starting lineup or 5 days prior, you just have to be ready. Have to have a great mentality leading up to the game, and the week. Just be ready for anything.
Raheem, you mentioned you played in USL. Let's talk about also the time you played in League1 Ontario. We know that Kyle Lauren came out of there with Sigma, Richie Laria as well, Chris Nanko, many players. Let's not forget Adonijah Reed with FC Dallas. How did League1 Ontario help you, and how do you believe it's going to help a lot of other young Canadian young men go through there to live the dream that you're living and playing possibly in MLS one day?
Yeah, as you said, League1 was a tremendous step in my career. It helped me link from League1 to USL. So I think it's important for Ontario to have a semi-pro league where good talent comes out of that pool and whatnot, and makes the next step. So kudos to League1 Ontario.
Let's talk, Raheem, a little bit about this club, TFC. I don't think people realize and understand. I'm lucky and fortunate enough to be a lot around the Kia training grounds throughout the whole summer with League1 Ontario and covering press conferences on and on. It's a world-class facility. They treat their players unbelievably well. A kitchen up there, a kitchen staff that are so wonderful to be around and always joyful, security staff, on and on. I mean, talk a little bit about these things that people don't see, Raheem. You and I see it, and it's great atmosphere there.
Yeah, exactly. As you said, from the kitchen staff to the security guards and to the janitor, we're all a big group, we're all a big family. We know each other on name basis, and they do an excellent job of making you feel welcome, making you feel like it's your home. So kudos to the TFC organization for creating that family sort of feel.
Raheem, before I let you go, I can't let you go without talking about the people that are important in your life, the people that always believed in you from the early ages of 5, 6, 7, all the way up to now, living that dream and playing here in your hometown and maybe one day soon for Canada. Who are they? Was it a coach that believed in you? Was it a parent, a sibling who said, Raheem, keep going, keep your head up? Who were the ones that, took you to all these practices, took time away from work? Tell us.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, it was my mom. She obviously brought me to practices, even all the times where I didn't even want to practice. And I have to give my shout outs to my mom for keeping me focused within soccer and knowing how much it could help me out in the long run.
And you mentioned sometimes you didn't want to go to training and practice. And myself, as a parent of 2 boys, now out of the system, Raheem, I remember my second and my youngest of the 2, that there'd be times that, you didn't understand why they didn't want to go to training. And you pushed them, and you had a wonderful mother that pushed you, and look where you're at now today. Talk to the young boys out there. If they have that dream and they want to be where you're at, maybe they need that push. Maybe they need that focus.
Exactly. Yeah. If it's being a young player, the best advice I could give you is just love the game, love the sport. You fell in love with it for a reason. Just keep going, keep pushing. You never know what may happen. Just like for me, for instance, when I was at Sheridan, I thought the professional career wasn't going to be a realistic ideal for me. And after thankfully, Mobile Bully, as you guys know, from TFC, helped push me to try out for TFC, and look where I am at now. So if I could do it, anyone else could do it.
Raheem, and we'll let you go, but one last thing. Head coach Greg Vanney was on the show last week, and we talked about a lot of players, yourself included, and he's given the Canadian players an opportunity. He believes in them. Let's not forget a few years back as well, Stuart Neely, who's no longer part of the TFC family, but he believed in you. How important is that to repay these guys that believed in you now here at this pro level?
Yeah, all you could do is go out there and play and show people why they believed in you. So, as you said, just you have to go out there and prove people wrong and keep doing your best.
Raheem, thank you so much for making time. Good luck. Enjoy the season. Never, ever forget where you came from, young man. And again, let's hope to see you one day in Canada Red. That would be awesome. And now I've given you that new nickname. Keep it. Raheem, the Canadian Dream Edwards. Good luck, my friend.